Hi everybody, welcome to the channel for new battle report. So this is the 5th game of the Interregio, the final game. We were playing against the region PACA, which is basically form of TSC. You should probably know this team better than the region. And basically most of the players were part of the Team France from last year. So definitely a strong team that was going to face us. And I was paired against Gaspacho, who was playing Vampire Covenant, as you can see, an absolutely stunning army that he was fielding. So really nice to see it painted and to play against it on the board. The pairing, as you can see, went quite well for us. I mean, drawish, but with some slight positives. So since we had a couple of points in advance, the prime target was not to get a negative matchup in order to avoid getting pressure on some tables. So definitely goal achieved with all games playable and some of them slightly in our advantage. You know my list. This was my opponent's list, so I was playing a double Shrieking Horror list, which is very particular. I didn't see it a lot. So a Vampire Count on a Shrieking Horror and another Shrieking Horror. Then he had a race unit with 2 Banshees. He has the triple move combo, couple of raise spell. He has his general was a courtier of Shamanism, which gives another buff. Then he has 2 skeleton units, one with Ban of Speed to potentially catapult the Banshee on the field. The other one was a Relentless, which is always useful. The big Swarm unit, always a pain to deal with. A small unit, 21 zombie. And then he has 2 mobile small scoring units, which are also very useful for the point that you pay for them. So really nice. And a small gas unit, another piece of chaff. So yeah, really nice list that can be quite aggressive if we want to, so it's going to be interesting. We are playing counter trust secure targets, and below you have spell selection. I did pick hereditary. I think I picked the 4 blast from occultism, if I remember correctly. And this is what he took more or less, plus the arise spell that allow him to raise to create a new unit basically. And yeah, he had plenty of spell, like 8, 9, most likely 10 spell, I guess. So a lot of them to keep track. Matchup analysis, so secondary, I will try to have the token as close from each other as possible. The triple move list can create a lot of things on the table which are unpredictable, and that's the main task when you face this type of list, is to see what he might do and to cover position with second unit, basically a second threat. The Bastion, my range damage, and my unit of Lugar are my main tool in this matchup. I felt I need to be careful with his single model and basically use this trick when, if he can push with a Shrieking Horror with no other unit able to charge it, then it's basically up to him doing enough damage, and then it might be difficult for the unit that got the Shriek to charge it. So basically I always need to keep it, to keep a cover with the second unit. Here in mind mainly the Overlord, that can be this counter charger in a more deep position, and he's not chaffable because he can fly, so definitely designed for this type of role. Depending on where the tokens are, we could have very different game. I think the risk approach will be mainly defined by my opponent, the way he wants to play it. If he wants to play very safe, wants to have the token as far as possible from each other, or make hard for me to get it, or the opposite, if you want to go for a higher win and be more aggressive. I felt, nevertheless, a slight positive for me, because if it's standoff, I should be able to get some point from distance and win it small, and if he comes for me, then it's more unpredictable. This is the table we got. He won the roll for side, gave me the impassable, so that makes totally sense. But after that, he made a choice that surprised me a bit. He placed his secure target here, measuring 23.5 from the distance, but he forgot that I could easily put it 24 away, so basically slightly more in his half, but have them very close. I think what was probably the best choice for him in this map was to put it somewhere here in the ruin, avoiding me to put it as close as possible here to the side, and forcing me to play on 2 parts of the house. I think that would have been probably his best choice. So yeah, I was quite happy to be able to take advantage from that by placing my token on far right, and I was also very happy to drop everything for first turn because I know where the action would happen. So I placed Titan on each side. I have here the Rocket Titan and the Lugars. So basically I have wanted to have a strong flank, as strong as possible, to make sure that he doesn't want to deploy anything in front of me, and basically make sure that this token is pretty much mine, and then we will battle for the middle one. That was my idea. So yeah, the Titan, the Lugars, Vassal, Slave, Bastion with the character, Vassal, Overlord, and the Naftatro Titan. And his counter deployment, he put on each side the Vampire Knight, then he have the Ghast, the bat swarm, big unit of bat swarm, skeleton zombies with character split here. Then this is his Shrieking Roar character. You have the Direwolves and the normal Shrieking Roar right aside from it. My turn 1. So I push hard on turn 1 with my threats as much as I could, and I backed a bit on the left flank. So basically my Bastion will be my main threat, and I want to get into range damage ranges as soon as possible. And basically here I measured everything to give leadership 10 to my Kadim Titan with the Overlord, and in case he activates with the flying spell, it's going to end up here in the front, and I'm going to be able to countercharge with the Overlord. So that's basically the idea. Magic Phase, I got a flying move on the Titan to get in range to shoot those guys. Wasn't too afraid of the charge. I made some calculation. Basically, he's going to die in 2 rounds, and I'm going to suffer like 3 to 4 wounds. So that's totally okay. So I went in range to get the first shot at him, but I did nothing with the shooting. And I got a Mark for Doom on a Shrieking Aura that did 1 wound. So that's not a bad start. Hasten 1, he pushed slightly to the side, but not too much. As you can see, he put in position his bat swarm to try to activate them, prepare some of the units, but he can be far away and activate very quickly, as you will see later. In Magic Phase, he got a heal and basically put some more skeleton in the bricks. That's my turn 2. So I turn a bit with the Bastion. Those guys stay more or less in position. I kept into shooting range here, just basically shuffling around, and here continuing to retreat a bit and be in a counter charge position with the Titan. Magic Phase, I failed Gravecall. I got Pentagram off on the race, but did no wounds. And then with shooting, I kill one of the Vampire Knight, which is a good start. He's turn 2 and he pushes me. So he activated the bats. As you can see, wasn't too close for me, so it was easy for him to be in front. So he went in front, pushes, then after that with the 2 Shrieking Aura, but the character 1 remains behind the hill, just behind the hill, and this guy is just next to the hill, so not everybody can see the Bastion, which is interesting. He put the race on the hill with the 2 Banshees, trying to activate them with a move spell to end up here in the middle, and he activates second chaff to chaff the Lugars. Moves also those guys to tempt me to charge, most likely, and the rest push slightly. In Magic Phase, he failed Danse Macabre, but got Raven's Wing on those guys, who moves on my Bastion, cause a couple of wounds, and end up here in front of the slaves. And with the Shriek, he did another 6 wounds to the Bastion. This one couldn't see my Bastion. I think that was definitely a mistake on his part. Should have been slightly on the hill to be able to shriek at me and do more wounds on the Bastion. Was definitely something doable for him. Definitely going to cause him also some trouble to get into combat later. Let's move on to my turn. So here I have a couple of options. The first one would be to charge with more stuff into the swarm and try to get overruns. I can try to get into a direct charge here, which is rather slightly long. Get the Bastion in combat and get the Lugars in combat is a risk of getting flank charged by something. I want to get rid of this chaff. I checked that the Lugar can charge that and safely reform and have everybody in the front, so that wasn't a problem. I don't want too much to take that charge because I want to continue to shoot at those guys, so I felt not the best charge. Those guys cannot move in between. So yeah, and there is then the charge of the Overlord. They have an incendiary token, so definitely a unit where I can do a lot of damage. So I took the charge with the Overlord and the Lugars and the Slave to pin down the race. Obviously I'm going to lose, but I'm going to pin him down 2 turns, which is what I want. Then he cannot go over me, and then I prepare a second unit of Vassal that can charge them next round. Other than that, yeah, the Overlord is in combat, just in front of next to the Bastion, and I want to be sure I can reform in front if I want to. Nobody can charge me right now, which is perfect. Even those guys are in my front, so that's perfect for me. And what else? Yeah, he in combat, he in a position to shoot them and see the middle and provide counter charge in case he want to charge here. I check my reform and I want to be able to, if I need to, counter charge here in case he wants to come with too many units. In the Magic Phase, I got Pentagram, kill 2 of the Wraith. I failed the Gravecall, and then I kill another Cavalry from shooting phase, which is nice. Overlord managed to do a total of 10 wounds between the multi-wound stuff. And then he crumbled another 11, so I did total of 21, which means he has still 3 alive, so he still cannot charge my Overlords. So he's going to charge with the Shriek into the Bastion, as you will see. So I get Shrieking Roar into the Bastion. Those guys are still pinned down. He moved the skeleton facing my Lugars to basically minimize the contact. The guy here moved to my side, which I couldn't avoid. And those guys stay back because I have this Titan here. He gets those him on the hill to be ready to charge next round. And also the little here flyers charge into the flank of the slave to pin down the bastion. So yeah, question mark here. I could have potentially charged them to get rid of them and then reform and allow those guys to move to my flank and then turn around, shoot them, potentially. I don't know. In the magic phase, yeah, worth mentioning, stand and shoot. I did 2 wounds on the terror, as you can see on the Shrieking Horror. So this is definitely not bad. He get hereditary, he heals some wounds of the bats here, which is quite important to keep me in combat with the Overlord. And close combat, yeah, it ended up quite good hit because I passed the crush attack and I do max wound. So I kill the Shrieking Horror. Obviously those guys, yeah, he get the overround. He lost by a bit, but he just remained in contact with one guy on 1 wound, I think. So just pinning down the Bastion was enough. But at least I killed the Shrieking with the Crush, which was really nice. Did some wound here, but I'm still going to be in combat. And here, yeah, that's it for combat. My turn 4, which is going to be, unfortunately, the last turn. We had plenty of action. And the turns are quite short. So here we're still in combat, as you can see. The Bastion I elected, yeah, I'm still stuck. So I charge with Vassal in the flank to overrun into the race and keep them in contact. Here I stayed like I was, just chaffing those skeletons. Here I went into Conga line to be within 6, and I'm going to be able to shoot him from short range. And basically the idea is pretty simple. If I kill him, it's 4 shot on 4+, and then 2+, and then multi-wound D3. If I kill him, I win secondary. Okay, magic phase, basically I got a Gravecrawler onto his general. Was very exciting about that, but did only 1 wound. Which was not much. Shooting, I did nothing to his general. I didn't have a lot of blunder left, to be honest. I killed the bat, overrun into those guys in combat. Here I kill some, which allow him to charge me, which is not what I wanted. And shooting, the most exciting moment. So yeah, I was telling you about the scoring unit. Here I have 1, 2, 3. He has 1, 2, 3. Those guys a bit far away. So this one is going to be most likely a tie. And this one, I needed to kill him. That was the main point to win a lot of more victory points. But unfortunately, I miss all. So not killing him, which is going to be a tie scenario. Yeah, that's it. Let's move on to his turn. Charge me with the general. Not the general, but the big guy. He charged those guys to force a check. Here we stuck. Here doesn't matter. And magic phase, basically, I had to Binding Scroll, the Danse Macabre. Dispel the bounce spell with all my dice. The Raven's Wing doesn't matter because it's not giving him scoring. And then I let him have buff. He had the -1 leadership on my guy and reroll to wound as well. And despite all these buffs, he fluffed completely. I passed some good ward save and he did only 2 wounds to me. I did some back to him. I was losing by 1. It's a 9 rollable. I failed the check, but I lost only by 1. So I lose another wound and I give half point. But it's not too bad. And we stop right here. Would have been exciting because the Bastion is free. Some stuff is in combat. So definitely an exciting game. Unfortunate that we didn't have the time to play more. And it ended up being a 12-8 at the end. Yeah, not a lot to say that I didn't say already. Token placement, I think, could have been better from his side. Due to the deployment situation, he had to be aggressive, and I think he did that right. The good activation from his side. On turn 4, I missed the opportunity to win it, but at the same time, my Overlord survived and could have died, should have died. So, not too bad at the end. I think some regret on both parts, and yeah, it would have been interesting to play over 6 rounds, definitely. Anyway, the round went really well. We won on 3 tables, got 2 tie and a 9, so 3 tie drawish matchup, and 3 wins was enough to win it 73, which was enough to win the tournament. So very happy about the result because against the 3 main competitor, we made 3 good wins, more than 70 points. So really happy about that, and yeah, I'm going to come back about the result and everything that happened during the tournament, how I feel about my list, what would have changed, and so on, the mistakes that I made. As I usually do in the conclusion video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and talk to you soon on the channel. Bye bye.